Time to unbox. BR Class 50 Leviathan 50040, and it's the TXS, the triplex sound HMDC version. So let's see how we get on here. It's a bit where I usually end up ripping the box. Oh, never doubted myself. Smooth fit, as expected. Certainly got a good bit of weight to it. Off with the sleeve. Let's not take long over this. We'll get the accessories later. For just now, it's out to get it running. There we are. Interesting. I would say the detail on top actually is sharper in real life than it is in photos. To the eye, it's more picked out, more defined than I'd seen. Superb. Looking loco, and yeah, definitely got a bit of heft to it. Okay, that's the unboxing. Let's get it running. Right, back to review appraisal of the 50. Gonna set it running just now, let it run in for a while. Set it off at 50 and see how it goes. It runs very smoothly, it runs powerfully. Set it off in both directions, so give it a half hour in each way to let it do its thing properly. And we'll just see how it goes from there. For just now, it's certainly running well. I did have to muck around a bit with the CVs actually on this one to get it running properly. You can see there I've slowed it down slightly, bring it back up again just to see what the different speed levels are like. But once it was fixed, I just left it running and quite happy with that. I don't think it comes across so much here, but another upgrade is the quality of the paper for the paperwork. It's just perfectly fine for the Nighthawk paper. This is much thicker, glossy. Not sure if that comes across or not, but definitely noticeable in the hand. You also find inside the paperwork the full list of sound functions and then physical functions. Physical functions are lights basically, and creep mode, things like that. Sounds are obvious, but the full list is there. You can work through it to your heart's content. As you can see, the front buffer beam, excellent detail. Likewise, the cab wire handrail separately fitted. Some mention was made of the roof grille. That is worse than it looks in the photo. In real life, it doesn't look that bad at all, in fact. You really can't pick it up. Lots of extra details, wire handrails, excellent bogie details picked out as well. Really nothing to complain about in terms of the amount of detail and the finesse of the application across the model. Really first class. I was really quite impressed with this. And I also promised a closer look at the detail bag. You have the etched nameplates, Leviathan, and there are 4 different types of brake hose, and that means the first 2 types, actually there are 4 of these types, so that's 8 from the first 2 types and 4 of the second 2 types of brake hose. Etched nameplates, and there's the snow plows, and as well as the snow plows hiding in there somewhere. I can find it. There we go, hiding down there. Just come out for you now. Is the chain link coupling, which is a fixed item. It's not a posable piece, but it is there. It's a tremendous detail bag, I have to say. Haven't yet fitted the snow plows. I've kept everything in the bag because I will lose it once I open it. So for now, it's staying there. Quite useful instructions as well in this regard. So you're very clear as to what the accessories are. They're all numbered, and then there's a corresponding chart showing how to fit them all, where to fit them all, including the snow plow or chain link coupling. Good to see Hornby's instructions improving from the often all too generic stuff that we see. Right, something slightly different. I want to kind of show you what I've done here. I'm propping up my module with a couple of books to give us an angle, a slope, to simulate raised track. There's 2%. As you can see, it copes with it absolutely perfectly. As you'd expect, 2% is what you might, and it's only running at 15 speed steps, so it's nice and steady, nice and gentle. It's not having to take a lot of power, and it's no difficulty whatsoever. And with the weight, you wouldn't have expected to be. It's all axles are driven as well, so you've got 6 driven axles. There's lots of weight here. It's obviously good quality. Not going to be a problem at 2%, but nice to know it can do this 2%, certainly. Extra book added, good old Mr. Blanchard. Now then, we're up to 3%. This is really about the maximum that usually be recommended. But again, it's as if it isn't there. As far as this loco is concerned, 3%. What 3%? Didn't notice 3%. Next. Take it back down the hill again for the next one. Okay, now you can see there's some idea of just the angle. So as I was at 5%, and you really wouldn't have anything at 5% unless you were looking for trouble, but nonetheless it's good to know what it can do, and it just takes it in its stride. 5%, no wheel slipping, no hesitation, no difficulty. It was slightly strange holding the camera and not trying to level it out to the ground level, because that's your natural reaction when you're trying to straighten up a shot. So the shot actually here I think looks less than the 5% it is, but I tell you it's sitting at 5% and it is pretty steep at that, and it was no difficulty whatsoever. But we didn't stop there. That'd be boring. There we go. Now, still at 5%, but we've added a couple of coaches just to make it interesting. Let's see what it does with this. And again, not a problem. 5%, 2 coaches, easy. Straight up the hill. So that's a significant incline now, and more than you're really likely to have on any vaguely realistic model railway. And Leviathan living up to its name. Now this looks awfully similar, but I promise you I didn't actually just leave in the same footage because that was a bit too easy. So let's just add on some of these troublesome tankers, especially the last two. The wee 12 tonners actually are really quite draggy. I have improved them from the originals, but they're still a bit draggy. And again, look at that, just crawling forward on 2, speed step 2, no difficulty, still able to go, no wheel slip whatsoever. At 5%, that's getting pretty impressive. Just to give you an idea what 5% looks like, by the way, so watch this. That's 5%. Okay, so that would have been off the end of my module before I thought. Now that's really getting steep, and so it is. 8%, we've jumped You can even tell, look at that, that's a whole different proposition. Let's see what Leviathan does here. And up she goes. Oh, we're slipping to 7% there. Somewhere between 7 and 8%, we'll call that. Maybe it was me stepping on the floorboards that moved slightly, but it had been sitting at 8. Not the most in focus camera work, but look at that angle. Here we are, back to a true 8% now. Here it comes. Yeah, I think I redid this actually because it flipped to the 7. So just to show you that it can do a full 8. And no problem at all. So we're getting there. We're really at about the limit, I think, of what's sensible to try. Didn't want to burn out my brand new loco in the first day. But we've added a coach or two at 8%. The screen's gone a wee bit dark there, but it is still showing 8%. But that was really its limit now. That was a struggle for it. So I dropped it back down to a single coach, and yes, it could go up at 8% with one, but not with two. Not comfortably anyway. You'd have used a lot of power, you'd have got it there, but it would have done quite a lot of wheel slipping. Back for a comparison, here's good old faithful Nighthawk at 5%, and Nighthawk is not a happy bunny at 5%. As you wouldn't expect it to be. That's no criticism particularly of Nighthawk. I wouldn't ever assume a model train should be able, our loco should be able to go up a 5% incline. And you can see there quite a bit of wheel slip happening. It's going, it's getting there, but it's definitely well out of its comfort zone, I think we can call that.
But it's not happy.
Still a beautiful loco. Going the wrong way slightly, you know, why not? But we tried Nighthawk at 5%, and we even put a coach on the back to see what would happen, but well, what you'd expect happened. It's fairness, so one, it's really not happening. So while we finish off these last bits, what do I think? Overall, the best TT model so far. Better than the 43s even, which is high standard. Certainly better than the early Steams. We wait to see with the Duchess, but this is a superb model. Very much worth the investment. And still extremely good value in the sound-fitted versions. And not just DCC, but sound-fitted Bluetooth DCC for a very good price. So that's all, and that's her heading away across the river. Time to go. Thanks for watching. Please do like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill.